Hello and welcome back to our continuing adventures on the Let's Defend platform. Today we are tackling the newest challenge that has been released, the free and easy golden ticket challenge. It's expected for security analysts as opposed to incident responders or malware analysts. Let's see. An alert has been triggered within a network, indicating a possible attack on a domain controller. Security team has detected suspicious activity suggesting lateral movement attempts from a compromised workstation to the domain controller. The attacker, identified as having infiltrated the network, appears to be targeting sensitive systems. An investigator is tasked with analyzing network traffic, reviewing event logs, and identifying how the attacker is navigating through the environment. The goal is to trace the attacker's steps, determine their access point, and prevent further escalation to the domain controller. We are given a Windows VM to go through and be able to do the needful, which I'm more than likely not really going to need, as realistically all we get from this is a 7-zip underneath the challenge file folder on the desktop, which contains the security event log from a Windows host. I mean, past that point, sure, we'll be using Event Log Explorer to go through and take a look at the stuff. So let me go ahead and move this stuff over, and then we'll get the event log up. Oh, wow. Okay, I might need to shrink this down a little bit, because as I'm looking at this, it takes up everything. Yes, the terrible example of not bothering to do this resizing beforehand, but hey, there we go. Okay, so we are looking at all the logs. Typically, there's a extra hop blog. What are Kerber's golden ticket attacks? That I will make sure. Actually, all the posts that were done, I'll make sure they go into the video. But suffice it to say, we are going to be interested in event IDs 4624, 4672, and 4634, as specified by the extra hop article. And those are, if memory serves me right, 4624 is the successful login. And I forget what the other ones are, but we're just gonna run with what they suggest to take a look at. So what does that break this down to? Wow, that didn't help a whole lot. We went from like 8,391 to 5,821. So we get a bunch of successful stuff back in 10/5/2024, and then 8/13. Well, that's kind of interesting. So let's see, we get login, log off, special login. Yeah, we'll just leave it like that. So I guess the big aspect is that we don't really get any of the other data, do we? I mean, we're not given the IP address of the domain controller, and we're not given the suspected host for lateral movement. So, okay, account name Sopranos DC with everything that's there. But I guess what I guess yeah. Okay. Let's do this. We should probably review the questions so we know exactly what we're looking for. And then it's this extra hop article where basically they break down in regards to the Kerberos process, what is a golden ticket, and then pretty much how to go through and do the attack, or how to detect the attack. Now, of course, their whole thing is, sure, go ahead and, get extra hop. But as a basis, should have enough that's there. FR Secure talks about Mimi Cats and everything through there. I don't suppose they have a basically how to go through and if you get popped. Yeah, because you need to like reset the like master password twice. And puppy's not happy. Dad's moving around. Oh, it's a short paper. How to stop it. How to defend. And of course the discovery, but that requires Veronis. Oh, anyways. Okay, when did the attacker first access the service account within the domain controller environment? What is the name of the compromised service account? What IP address and port were used by the attacker to log into the compromised account? Before the same attacker tried to perform an ASREP attack. What user account did the attacker target during the Kerberos? When did the attacker request the TGT ticket to perform the ASREP attack? It looks like they want it in UTC. After gaining access to the domain controller, the attacker attempted to generate a golden ticket to impersonate a DC user. What was the attack? Or what was the targeted account? And what time did the attacker try to log in using the golden ticket? Okay, so I should be able to just kill the VM now and not waste processing time and power with that, since I got the event logs local. Okay, so we know roughly what we're looking for. Although again, we're not really given a specified time frame for this stuff to have occurred. So I guess realistically, we're just going all the way back to the beginning. I see a lot of min-win PC $. Going back and forth on the, what is that? August of last year? Since it's 2025? And then what looks to be workstation accounts. So there's the DC. Okay, I had to pause to get my bearings, but I managed to find two of the aspects. So as you dig through, you're looking for a 10 in order to better focus in on 10-letter number combination for the user account. You find things in there like administrator, too many, um, Cordo, too short, Tony, too short. Then there's a SQL service, and that gives us the account that was compromised. Now, okay, we want to sit there and take a look for that particular aspect. So I had to change stuff around. Apparently, there is event ID 4776 for credential validation and 4768 for TGT requests, which is kind of what we're focusing on, along with the 4624, which is for login events. Yeah, excuse me. So basically, I just adjusted everything to more focus on those aspects. When that comes in, I realize that the sub windows to this does not show up, but effectively then to get the time, we're finding the very first event in this sequence of those 3 event IDs. We can open it up. I mean, really, there's not any way to show this, is there? I mean, I suppose I could go and actually have the whole screen displayed, but that would screw up everything that I've got put together. Anyways, you can bring it up so you can see an extended portion of properties for it. Granted, it looks like it's just the screen here. There's an XML section or tab in the upper left of the window that spawns up. And the very top item is system. And you can expand system out to find time created system time, where report 2024-10-05 T as in Thomas 16:29.29.009775 Z as in Zulu. No, okay, that's UTC format. So effectively what we need to do then is shorten it up. So we take and put a space for the T is in order to divide that. We cut the 0.007754 Zulu off the end, and we put a space and then UTC in order to match the format that they want. And it gives us that portion. Excuse me. So then now we are looking for IP address and port used by the attacker. But thankfully, we only have 20 events to go through utilizing this particular. So effectively, we would start with the 3 event IDs, go through, find something that would match, in this case, SQL server, or SQL service. We'd go back to our filter, and now we'd add the description must contain SQL server, so that way we're taking it from, I think it was from 8,000 to 5,000 to now 20, in order to basically tell the story around what we're trying to do, at least in this particular portion. And then effectively we're looking for IP address and port. So I'm assuming it's going to be the 192.168.110.192 and 48868. Let's see if we've got this right. So we'll take this down, transition over. No. One nine two 168.110.129 colon 48868 48868. Oh, how about 48858? Okay, so why 488 or why? Yeah, 48858 is supposed to 48868. Well, that's just me not having had enough coffee this morning. So we go back to the very first one. So 115029, at least as it is displayed in my system. So the very first event in this entire chain that we ended up getting the correct answer from being a 4776 event. Well, the very next one up is a 4624 event, so a login. If we go down, IP address is the same. Source port is that 10 difference from 68 to 58. And that's how they take it, because obviously it is, what, 2 seconds later that we then get the 68. So what they are asking for does actually match the events that we are seeing. Okay, so we managed to get that put together. Oh, for an easy, this is actually forcing me to stretch a little bit. Usually by this particular point, you'd probably be having something do the correlation for you. Okay. So now we move over to before the same attacker tried to perform an ASREP attack. What user account did the attacker target during this Kerberos attack? And then we get when did they do the TGT ticket request? And then after gaining access, the attacker attempted to generate a golden ticket to impersonate a DC user. What was the account that was targeted? Okay, so now we're pivoting. So I suppose with this, what we could do is change the, clear out the event ID. So we're looking at everything, change the source, or that the source IP address has to be the 192.168.110.129, because obviously that's where our attack is coming from. And let's take a whole look across that. Okay, so I've gone ahead and set it up that using the Event Log Explorer application here, I have removed all of the login event IDs, or all the event IDs, not that they were specifically set for login, and changed that or filter that the description must contain something around 192.168.110.129. And what we can see is if the first events that kicked off were centered around specifically, what was it, like 1150? So we got stuff a little bit before that where we see some 4624s for anonymous logins. And we start seeing, okay, we get Kerberos ticket, or TGT was requested. And it looks like it's trying to do Corrado. So here's the question. Would Corrado They attempted to attack. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that's gonna be it. So is that CORRADO? Okay, we're apparently still barking up the right tree. When did the attacker request that TGT ticket? And this is going to be another one that's going to need the UTC aspect. So when was that ticket requested? Well, okay, it specifically has to be Corrado. And it looks like our 4768 there is what we're looking for. So again, I'm going to double click on this. And again, it's another sub window that doesn't get rendered. That is rather a monumental pain in the ass. Yeah, it just drives me nuts that it doesn't just bother to show. Anyways, so we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to go and switch to XML as opposed to standard. We're going to break down system. We're going to find the recorded system time, which shows as 2024-10-05 Tango 14:39:42.5852.184 Zulu. And now we're just going to butcher that sucker into the specific format that they are looking for. So again, we drop all that in. We're going to knock out the dot and change that to UTC. And then we're going to take that Tango and we're just going to space it. And apparently I got it wrong. Well now. Okay, what does the other event look like? 2024-10-05 Tango 14:39:42. 0.7311277 Zulu, which isn't going to make a difference on that one. That is still the same exact. Okay, now we move up to the next one. Kerberos authentication ticket requested. Will we get the client address? We break that down. So again, we get 2024-10-05 Tango 14. So what is this? 14, so it'd be 4244? The next one in series. So here, let me bring up the event log. So right here is the event in question that they're actually taking. So what changed between this and this? Ticket options, ticket encryption type. So it's all part of a chain, but still 46 or 4768. Those are 0x10 for, so the result code does not change. And then we get a successful login for SQL service. So I'm assuming it's the ticket option. let's do this. Duplicate tab, and I'll show you what I'm looking at in a second here. Let's get putty down, and love it or hate it. Oh, sure, you do so well. There's no... Oh, there's 10. KDC has no support for this pad type. Oh, wait, no. What's the 4768? I forgot that this existed, which is sad. Yeah, no thanks. All right, so we're looking for 10. No support for this PA data type, which is what we were seeing on the first two. And then, of course, it doesn't look like it actually reaches all the way down there. But if we toss ticket options 0x50, 80,000, so proxiable and renewable, which seems to be more of a double success as opposed to there's a problem, which seems to support as to why the first two that were 0x10 weren't accepted as the answer. So again, to bring this back up, so when she first kicked off at 939.42, ticket options were the unsupported PA data type. Again, unsupported PA data type. Then we hit the next one with the really big ticket options, and that one is accepted. I guess ticket encryption type might be an indicator too to go off of, but so apparently we're not looking for 0x10. Anyways, so where do we sit now? And then we're effectively looking for... Okay, they were able to sit there and do the ASREP. They got a... So now we're trying to figure out... Excuse me. This is supposed to target a particular user. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, like 12 characters somewhere within this mass of crap. We know it's not SQL service. We know it's not anonymous login, and we know it's not Corrado because that was already targeted. So I think what we're gonna do is all right, so now we are filtered yet again. We got 17 items. And that is all we get for that particular aspect. Okay, so we're going back to successful logins to take a look at. So 4624. And it should be around the time frame of all the previous activity. So since we have logs all the way back to August 2024, and then we have the stuff for October, I have just locked us into the events for October since that's where everything has gone on. So the 1650 UTC and then the 1442 UTC, all on the 5th. I would expect that it would be close to the other activity that we have thus far observed. Although there's about, what, a 2-hour window between them? So yeah, we get earlier activity. We're seeing items for SQL service. We probably do not want it to contain NT authority, because we are looking specifically for things for this domain. Otherwise, why would we Kerberoast? So it still gives us 721. Well, we know also for a fact that the account name is not going to be SQL Service. So how about we add to the quick filter? It takes us to 711. We knock out Corrado. So I wonder if any of the other ones show up. And we still get some of the UMDF. Let's clear that one out. So 634. We'll clear those out. 630. We still have DWM-1. Remove that. 626. Yeah, it's not as very helpful as it probably should be. Administrator to the account. Okay, I just took a guess. It is administrator. That gives us 8 events. Because now that we have administrator, so now we need to put together the aspect of the timeline. So when? Well, we know that they got the TGT 1442, which breaks down to what time? So 9 something. Virtual account, login type. Workstation name, Sopranos DC. Could it be that? See, it just seems like that would be screwed up. So it shows 9:13, which break to UTC time would be 14:13:38. But if we go back, when did the attacker request that TGT ticket to perform the ASREP attack? 14:42. So there would be a roughly 30-minute variance there. So yet, without having made the request for the TGT ticket for the ASREP attack, take a look at the hint. Locate any login that happens after 4769 and filter for the account name. Let me show you. Yeah, because that doesn't seem like that would be right. Okay, so let's add 4768. Or no, 69, right? Son of a... Yes, 4769. And filter on administrator. So you still get 241 events. Gonna do a filter by the date. So it just gives us items in 10/5/2024. Gives us 126. So it would be after. So administrator at sopranos.local. An account was successfully logged in. Okay, let's try this one. So that comes out to 2024-10-05 Tango 16:33:54.2525241 Zulu. Let's see if we get it or if we misunderstood something. So I take space out the T, knock out the dot 25, etc., and add UTC. No. So apparently we got that one wrong. So it's supposed to be after. So what we're expecting to see a 4624 after a oh no, screw it, let's try it. I mean, I've already put in the wrong answer. I just had to try to figure out what the hell. $14.13. Oh, wait. Okay, so that's not. Did I have it? Okay, good. You didn't have it right regardless. Okay, go back to the first one. 14, 13. 14, 13. And what's our last portion? 38. Wait, very close to the right answer? How in the hell does that work, though? Because it's still... But then we don't go until the next one, which... Well, there is a... one directly after that goes 33:53. But that's 16:33:53. But you would expect that it should be something. Well, no, because it would be, wouldn't it? Oh man, I am. Yep, I'm just burnt out. Six. I thought we did that though. 16:33:53, which I feel is like the first one we tried. Because there's the gap. There's the successful one. We get the Kerberos ticket request. And then sadly we get boy. Got it. It's kind of obvious. But you get frustrated and you're tired. Ergo, I'm slucked so far down. Okay. So in that particular response, it is 2024-10-05 space 17 colon 57 colon 03 UTC. Now, okay. Why is it that? So everything up to a point around the time of all this activity, it's always a Kerber service ticket requested, the 4769, and then you'll get two 4624 successful logins. And that repeats, so 4769, and then two 4624s. A 4769, and okay, we get a break where it's only a single one. And then we get not hundreds, but tens of 4769s. That seems a little bit odd that you're getting it all for administrator. And then at the end string of, so most of 1700 UTC, it seems like all it does is blast 4769s. And then at the S end of 1700, we see finally a 4624. Successful login. So let this be a, I guess, lesson in terms of just because you're expecting something to happen in a particular frame of time doesn't necessarily mean that's exactly how it's going to happen. I expected this to be a lot closer to when we had the detection for the TGT ticket for the ASREP. So 1500. This is about an hour and a half later. Outside the range that I would typically think to look. But given the fact that it just seems like it's Kroger service ticket for administrator, spam for most of 1700 UTC, but because it was out of the time frame, I just wasn't looking at it, which led to additional frustration and then everything else. So I am happy to sit there and admit my shortcomings in this particular exercise because I think it's a good learning lesson. I'm sure it will be one that I'll end up relearning over and over again. Just because you expect something to happen in a particular time frame does not mean it's going to. But that's how we got the derivative of, or to that particular answer. And that completes the golden ticket. Easy exercise. So, yeah, easy. As long as you get out of your own way. But Huntress also had a good blog in regards to going through and finding that this. So I will just make sure that all the blogs get put together. So if you want to do some reading on this particular type of attack, and I'm sure everybody's going to have their, well, you could just buy our solution and we'll detect it for you. But this is fun, if a little bit frustrating in terms of tripping over my own 2 feet. But it is what it is. All right, I guess I can stand up or get taller, considering the fact I did complete it in one sitting and without tearing hair out. But so there we go. All that being said, hopefully it has been educational. I suggest that you try it yourself. And then I guess refer to the video in the event that you run into the same aspect of like, what the hell are we doing? But yeah, I'll see everybody in the next video.